Hi, everybody. So, I'm going to tell you guys about just this moment that really sticks out to me. I was in Yakima, Washington, which is about a 5 or 6 hour drive from where I live. So, I had to leave the day before to get some necessities and make sure I was at this facility on time. I wake up in the motel and I realize that it's just this nice, beautiful, sunny day, nowhere near the way I felt and nowhere near the way I looked at that time. And I was a nervous wreck. We get in the car and I have to get off my phone and turn it off. I hear on the GPS that you have reached your destination. Lovely tone. I look outside and there I am. I see this large area of maybe about 5 or 6 buildings, pretty flat land, a fence surrounding it, and hills. If you've ever been to Yakima, you know there are hills and city, but this isn't the city part of Yakima. This is the boondocks of Yakima. And there I am at Sundown M Ranch Treatment Facility, where I will be spending the next 21 days of my life. So we drive up, and my mom and dad are allowed to go in with me to get me checked in. They have to take my bags to make sure that there are no drugs in my bag, and they have to ask me about 100 questions to get to know who I was and why I was there and what my DOC was, my drug of choice. And my DOC is alcohol, methamphetamines, marijuana, and opiates. Well, shortly later, they had to tell me that my mom and dad had to say goodbye, and I knew that was going to be the hardest part for me. I was already so nervous and I was already so tense, and I was just smiling so big so that my jaw was just clenched so tight, and I got the worst headache just so I wouldn't cry in front of my parents and I wouldn't cry before I went to go meet these women that I'd be spending these 3 weeks with. I walk through the doors and some lady hands me my schedule of what I'd be doing for the next 3 weeks, and she informs me of some of the rules. It was a co-ed treatment facility, so men and women are not allowed to talk to each other. You have to make sure your room is clean and your bed is made. You have to write in your journal every day. You have to go to the lectures and the groups and the meetings, and if you didn't follow the rules, then after 3 strikes you would be kicked out. So she showed me to my room. It's kind of like a motel room, except you don't get TV and you don't get telephone privileges. You also have a 5 day blackout period where you are not allowed to call home for 5 days. And after I got settled in, I had to go to my counselor's office where I walk in, and probably the most awkward moment when you have 6 girls shut up and stare at you. But eventually, these women helped me know where I was going and told me what I needed to do. So, after I finished about 4 or 5 steps from the 12-step program, I was maybe about 14 or 15 days into treatment, and I had to go to another lecture. And this counselor has done a few lectures before on drugs, and mostly on heroin and just other kinds of drugs that we face. Well, she only tells her story to people who have been there for a few weeks, and that's the story that really hit me. Like, that's the story I remember of treatment. I remember her telling us that her drug of choice was heroin, and that she was deep into this drug for a few years. She had no desire to quit. She had drug babies that she lost from the system that she didn't want. She tried to abort her children and it didn't work. She tried to kill herself a few times, and just her story just stuck out to me. I did not want to go down that road. I knew that a part of me with alcohol had already gone down that road. She didn't care about her family. It took her a long time to recover. She went to many treatment centers, and I didn't want that to be me. I didn't want to go to treatment after treatment trying to get help, you know. My dad is alcoholic as well. He is in prison from a drunk driving accident, so I didn't want that to be me. Even after the various times that I've been drunk and drove, I knew that eventually I'd be in prison too, and I didn't want that for me. I have 3 years as of February 20th of being clean and sober, and I would not have been able to have the strength to do it without my little girl. I got sober just before I got pregnant with her, so some alcoholics and addicts just need a strength to get them through, and she was mine. So thank you guys for listening.